Hi, this is Dave, and before we get to the show, I wanted to ask you a favor. One of our goals this year is to grow the show so that What Does Star Wars Mean to You reaches more listeners. And that's where we're asking you for help. And it's really easy. Wherever you listen to us, please hit that subscribe button. If you're liking the show, give us a 5-star rating and review on the platform you listen to us. We make a lot of fun of the algorithm and the smash that button thing, but it really does help us get noticed by new fans. And if you want to join in on the conversation, find us on social at Star Wars Mean to You. That's Star Wars Mean, the number 2 in the letter U. Now, let's chat some Star Wars.
I feel like Star Wars is now choosing me and finding me. Like, it's popping up everywhere for me.
Hello there, this is Elora, and I'm a prequel trilogy kid.
And this is Dave, and I'm an original trilogy kid. Welcome to What Does Star Wars Mean to You, the show where we talk to all kinds of fans of Star Wars to take the hate out of the debate and look at the franchise from a certain point of view, one fan at a time.
Yeah, and our guest this week, I'm very excited about. We have Rose Hawk on. I think Rose's TikToks came across our feed separately.
Yes,
I think we were both aware of her.
Yes, we both stumbled upon her, first time watching Star Wars reaction videos.
Yeah. She's a content creator on TikTok. Her platform is kind of more personal blog focused. She is a sewer or a sewist. I was looking up the word. I couldn't figure out what's the proper term, and kind of flips antique finds. And she self-describes thrifting as her favorite sport, which I love.
Wow.
2 peas in a pod.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, it was her very recent introduction to the galaxy far, far away that's kind of, I think, gotten her just over 900,000 likes on TikTok, and was really struck a chord with the Star Wars fandom in a really wholesome way.
Yes. It's really kind of awesome to watch her watch Star Wars for the first time.
Yeah. It's awesome. I've been overwhelmed by the amount of positivity on her first time watch reaction videos. The community that's found her has not spoiled anything. They're being super excited and supportive about her becoming a fan. And it just really feels like the antithesis of what you would sometimes see on Star Wars Twitter.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the truth.
I really wanted to invite Rose on today because our show's all about taking that hate out of the debate, as you said. And
yes.
I just thought her fresh and honest perspective would just make for a really fun conversation. And also just what a joy it's been to rewatch Star Wars for the first time through her eyes.
Yes. Especially when they're really loving it. And that's the thing. Rose seems to really love it.
Yeah.
In all its messiness. And I think that's fantastic. Should we go over to the interview?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's set coordinates for Rose Hawk.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. Hi.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you.
I'm so excited. This is my first podcast or anything like this, so I'm really excited.
Oh, well,
awesome.
I'm glad.
Yes.
We're pretty, we're low maintenance.
Perfect.
Are you ready to share with the world what does Star Wars mean to you, Rose?
I am.
Right on. It's our favorite answer on this show.
Yes.
So, okay, I'll kick off with our 5 with the Force. 5 basic questions. Get your Star Wars baseline. What movie so far has been your favorite?
So far, and again, I've only seen them all once, but episode 6 ranks number 1 for me right now. I feel like it's still good guys still won in the end, or good conquered evil in the end, and I still just felt really good. I felt like episode 6 right now is my top.
No, that's a solid answer.
That is.
There's a lot of original trilogy kids going, yes!
Well, exactly.
Oh, I know. I've been swung into the controversy of even don't watch 7, 8, and 9, and oh my god, so I'm nervous around ranking anything. But
oh my gosh,
as a total newbie, that's my true answer.
Love that.
Yeah.
Dave, do you have a D6?
Yes, I do. Here we
go.
4.
Okay, who's your favorite droid?
Okay, I'm nervous.
That you've met so far.
Is 3PO considered a droid?
He is. Yeah.
Yes,
okay, then 3PO.
definitely.
Yes. 3PO is, even if you're going to ask me my favorite character, it is 3PO. Everything about him, and I think it's because, yes, there's more badass characters and there's, cooler characters, But I look at 3PO and I just relate to him. That is who I would be if I was there. I would be anxious as hell. I would be like, I'll be on the ship. I don't want to be here. Everything he does is just so innocent. And I love him.
Oh,
without a doubt.
You'd always be telling everyone the odds.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Would be like, guys, we should not be here. Let's go. Like,
yeah,
that
this doesn't feel safe.
Yep. Let's get out of here.
I love that so much. 3PO is my favorite droid as well.
Yeah.
So
it's hard not to say R2 just because he like literally saves the day in every single episode. Like he's the only consistent character that I'm like, yeah, we'd be screwed without R2 here. But
yes,
we also wouldn't know what R2 was saying if we didn't have 3P. So
well, I think it's also a really big how you relate to 3PO is very true too. And I feel that same way, that I would be the anxious one wanting to leave the situation.
Mm-hmm. So
I get that.
Do you have a favorite line to quote?
I have a lot. Not to quote, I don't know. Let me think. Definitely is, and I'm going to butcher it, but the line that they say in every single movie of like, this is going to get bad, or I have a bad feeling about this, or something.
Yes.
Yes. I have a bad feeling about this.
Yes.
That's a good one. But I have a lot of just favorite quotes in general. But I feel like to quote myself, it's probably that.
What is one of your favorite quotes in general?
Oh my gosh. Quotes that like just like the sentence that like moved my entire soul and body. Number one was Vader saying "you already have" to Luke.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my Lord. Just episode 6 in general just like blew my absolute brains out. I had no clue what was going on. So for him to like actually be a human with like true emotions, I was so sad about that. The other one, I think Padme says it, where it's like, this is the sound of democracy dying. And it's like applause. I like rewound it and I was like, girl, what year was this made? Like, oh my God, this is
so true.
So traumatic for me right now. So that one's a good one. I probably actually quote that one quite a bit.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God, science fiction always predicting the future.
Right.
Do you have a planet that you would most like to visit?
Okay, it's not a planet, but it's the moon of Endor.
Oh,
is my geography right here?
Yes.
It's because obviously, again, episode 6, the Ewoks. When I've been going like live after I watch a show or an episode, I'll go live on my TikTok. And when I learned that the Ewoks just never come back, I was like, why the hell did we introduce to them then? This is the worst. They were my favorite thing. And then when I learned that was like, oh, that was it. That they just never come back. We never talked to him again. I was like, excuse me? I need them. But I would live there.
Maybe in 10, 11, 12, we can petition for the Ewoks to come back. Yeah.
I mean, just a whole Ewok series. I've been yelled at to watch all of these series. I'm like, I'll just watch just that. I don't even need language.
There is an offshoot.
2 TV movies called Ewoks, Caravan of Courage, and Ewoks Battle for Endor, I believe.
Oh.
And they were made in 84 and 85, respectively, if I remember correctly.
And it shows.
And it shows. But it is the Ewoks. And that Caravan of Courage, like the first hour, feels like a National Geographic documentary.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Okay, I got to add this to my list. My very long list. My very, very long list. But I'm adding it.
Last of 5 with the Force, which character would you most like to take antiquing with you?
Oh my gosh. Padme. No question about it. Her style, her makeup, everything about her, I was like, okay, wait, I want to recreate this look. So I think I would take Padme. Although I would trust others, but yeah, she was great.
I love that. Let's dive into what has been happening over on your TikTok. Like, what made you finally decide to watch Star Wars?
Yes. Yeah. What's funny is I am 30, so I am a 90s child, and like I have no rhyme or reason why I've never seen it. I just grew up with an older sister. We watched Disney princess movies. It just never seemed interesting to me. And a couple weeks ago, before I'd seen anything of it, I was at dinner with some friends. And for some reason, that was the conversation. And they said, Rose, if you can name 10 Star Wars characters, I'll buy dinner. Oh. And I couldn't do it. I could not do it. They gave me like half a point when I said Yeti. They gave me a half a point. They were like, I know where you are, but no. Obviously, I did say Darth Vader, and I did say Leia, and I think that's about as far as I got. And it literally that night was my first video of me in my bed, no makeup on, watching it, unfortunately, on an iPad, which was everybody was like, stop watching on an iPad. But that was me and I was recording myself to send to my friend because they were all of my friends at the dinner were like, what the hell do you mean you've never seen it? And me trying to then explain, like, they were like, okay, well, what do you think it's about? And they were like, oh, no, you need to watch
you
it.
have it all wrong. Yeah.
So that was me going home the first night and just saying, all right, let me watch it. And I recorded my reaction for them. And then truly overnight, I was like, oh, wow, a lot of people find this interesting for me to see it the first time. So I was hooked.
That's awesome.
Well, you're very expressive. And like I hope this doesn't sound like an insult.
Oh, I love
because
it.
it's
No
not
worries.
intentional. But you have these instant bumper sticker phrases.
Apparently.
When you, like T-shirt phrases right around. Like you referred to Anakin at the end of Revenge of the Sith as an emotional baby. And it's so true.
All of them. Well, what I've learned, especially of Star Wars, is that half of the characters don't have names until there were like games or toys created. So even like the Ewoks or something. So I'm calling them Furbies because they never say what they are.
They don't tell you what they are.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Sorry that everybody knew that.
I was on that subject. I was watching your reaction to, is it Attack of the Clones? And you kept saying, who the hell is Darth Sidious? And I was like, how do you not know that's Palpatine? And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, they never say his name ever until Revenge of the Sith. And the only way to know that is if you see the movie and then go read a book or buy the action figure
or the comics. Yeah. I think you've really tapped into, you found like the best side of the Star Wars fandom on TikTok because it's everybody that's really nice and super positive and just like wanted to watch it for the first time themselves.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. I feel like hopefully that is some of my lingo because literally the first thing that I ever say when I was recording myself is, oh, I love this gay guy talking about 3PO. And so luckily my video just steered towards the right crowd because I'm like, what do you mean he's not gay? Of course that man is gay. Do you hear him? Like,
absolutely.
So yes, I'm like, there's a lot of, and I think even just going back to my like quick lingo, I don't know, it's very, I just on my own, like watched a lot of Drag Race. I love like that type of just conversation. So I think that a lot of my stuff is just that, Luke, you better run, girl. Like, get the fuck out of there, Luke. Like, of course, that's how I'm going to yell at Luke. What else am I supposed to say to him? So, yeah.
What did you know of Star Wars before watching it, if anything? Like, what was the biggest surprise for you?
Well, I guess number one, what I knew about it was nothing. I thought that Star Wars was laser beams and ships and just battles all the live long day. And I thought it was just about taking over planets and trying to gain power, which it is, but it's not. It's not. So for number one, for it to be like it's a love story. The entire thing is just the most tragic love story. It's also so unbelievably political, and that was very surprising for me to just watch. And just the like true depths of each and every character and how quickly you love each character. I was like, wow, this is not about boom, bang battles of this. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like bawling my eyes out over a fucking robot. This is ridiculous. I hate this. So yeah, that is definitely it being a love story too. That was very surprising to me. I had no clue that was coming.
And love in so many different forms.
Yes, friendship, the truest like sacrifices of love, but yeah, the Chewie and Han love, like that's love in itself, all of it. All of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now that you're kind of into this, you're 6 deep. I don't know why I phrased it that way. Have you
I have a badge of honor.
Have you been spoiled on any major twists that might be coming up before watching, or even twists that appeared in the first 6 episodes?
Yeah, the only thing, first of all, shout out to the fans because anybody in my comments is like not at all giving me spoilers. Now looking back and reading some of those comments, it's clear that it's funny. What they were saying was like a spoiler, but I didn't get it.
Right.
I was looking back on a video and it was me being like, wait, Darth Vader didn't have a hand? And someone be like, oh, baby, just wait. And I'm like, what? And now I'm like, oh, he didn't have anything. He had no body. So
yes.
no, I luckily didn't. Yeah, I was like, wait, what? He cut his hand off? When did I miss that? And they're like, oh, honey, you know nothing. So definitely people were protecting me and my understanding. But no, I mean, right now I've watched Rogue One, so I haven't watched 7, 8, 9. I haven't watched Solo, and I haven't really watched any of the offshoot series yet. But nothing really has been spoiled, and nothing was spoiled. I think the only thing that was an inch spoiled was me knowing the language of Palpatine. So then because I don't think I would have caught that watching 1, 2, 3. I don't think I would have realized, oh, Palpatine is the Emperor. But because I knew the word Palpatine and everybody was like, that's Palpatine. Once I was like, who's that dude on FaceTime? My comments were like, that's Palpatine. That I feel like is the only thing that I was like, ooh, I think if I wasn't watching this, I wouldn't have clocked that was the Emperor. But yeah.
Again, they don't really say it.
No,
it's not explicit. Do you have like a favorite character that's come out of this?
Definitely 3PO in one stance. But then my next one, I mean, I can just talk about 3PO all day long, but my next one is definitely Obi-Wan. Like 1, 2, and 3 gave me such a different respect of Obi-Wan and his like care for the world and Jedis. Although I've learned and now like watching a little bit of it back, like I feel like Jedis are flawed in themselves, but Obi-Wan was near and dear to my heart. Outside of Yoda's another top because I didn't know. That was the other thing. Like, I think I named Yoda at my friend's dinner. I was like, obviously, everybody knows Yoda. But I was shocked to learn that Yoda dies. I thought the entire lore of Yoda was that he's, like, beyond, like, he could not die. Like, I thought that was who he was. And I was like, wait, I'm on the second movie that I've ever seen and he's dying? I was so sad. But yeah.
You cracked me up when you referred to him as Bernie Sanders.
He is. I'm a Bernie Sanders lover. I have like a portrait of Bernie Sanders in my home, which is just weird.
We caucused for Bernie.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Cry my eyes out. But yeah, that was just my genuine reaction. I was like, he cares so much. And he is like planting seeds for stuff that he will never even see flourish. But he cares so much about not even the Jedi. I feel like just goodness in the world, like whatever form that looked. I felt like that was Yoda's energy for me.
How has your family reacted to this kind of whirlwind social notice that you're watching these, and have you dragged them into it in any ways? Like I saw your post about Rogue One, you telling this story to your sister
that was
over
funny.
the phone.
Yes, yeah. My sister, and I only have one older sister, but she's also never seen any of the Star Wars. So me just trying to explain to her and like, she's like, are you really crying? Or are you like beefing this up a bit because you know it's getting on TikTok, going viral? I'm like, no, I'm ugly crying. Like, this is horrible. So it's definitely been interesting. I mean, like I explained, my first post was not intended to go, quote unquote, go viral or become like a content creator of any type. But now that I'm here, I'm like, all right, well, let's just keep going because I'm going to keep watching them. Might as well just keep recording. So my family's definitely been like interested, and myself has been just shocked at that alone.
Yeah.
Has anyone gotten more into Star Wars in your family? Or has there anyone in the family woodwork that's crawling out going, hey, I've been into Star Wars a long time and now you're getting all this attention?
Yeah, definitely.
That would be me.
Right? Exactly. You know, definitely my mom is like, oh my gosh, I went to like all of the opening nights when I was a kid and all of those things. So she's like, I loved Star Wars. And I'm like, how did you never push me to watch it? She's like, you guys weren't into it. So yeah, I guess that, if anything. And then even just friends that I'm around that have been like diehard, because clearly there's no such thing as just like liking Star Wars. If you like Star Wars, you're a diehard fan, as I've learned. And as I've now become. So even just friends, especially that are like, so texting me, where are you at in the series? Or, oh my gosh, now I can finally talk to you about this thing that you've finally seen, but I wasn't able to tell you before. So yeah, I feel like everybody along with me is just taking it day by day and excited to watch somebody enjoy it for the first time.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like you're building community online and also like more like new community with like your existing circle.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was watching your Revenge of the Sith reaction where you start crying at the end. And to me, and I'm very cynical, I thought it was very authentic. Like those were real reactions. And
Oh my God.
either that or you're the world's best actress and let's get you an acting gig.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Because
Oh my gosh, yeah. Order 66 was, I did not know that was happening at all. That was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. The montage of facial expressions of just like kind of fear.
Yeah.
Like watching an atrocity happening. Yeah, confused.
I was so confused.
They go into 66 in more depth in Rebels, the animated show.
Yeah.
So I'll just like pre-warn you now.
I've started to watch that, and I've looked around at like there's some lists of like essential episodes because it is like already like 6 or 7 seasons or something.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of content.
Yes.
Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? I've had it on. I've started to watch it. I'm starting to learn new characters, and Ahsoka, I've learned who she is because she's not in the movies at all. But yeah.
Well, so I was going to ask you, like, besides the films, how you're interacting with Star Wars on a day-to-day basis. And you kind of, you had a vlog the other day, I think, came across my For You page on, like, you were thrifting and you were, like, finding a bunch of Star Wars stuff.
Oh, yes. I've been trying, thrifting is something that I just love to do, period. But yeah, I actually have my little 3PO here, which I don't know why he has a red arm, but I guess I will learn why he has a red arm. But yeah, I found some definitely, like, I feel like Star Wars is now choosing me and finding me. Like, it's popping up everywhere for me. I was in the grocery store the other day, and the Star Wars, like, theme song was playing on the grocery store. I'm like, I'm sorry, but that has never happened in any grocery store ever in the history of ever. And I'm like, this is Star Wars music playing. So I recorded it and sent it to my boyfriend, like, okay, what the hell am I supposed to be? So yeah, it's following me in the best way possible. And I'm excited to explore with some other stuff. I have some other things that I'm going to create or do around Star Wars. So
that's awesome.
That's awesome. So far, what you've seen of Star Wars, what are the themes that have stood out to you the most?
Yeah. It's number one that love is like the highest degree of feeling and emotion and movement in this world, I feel like is the biggest plot line of Star Wars, because even Anakin becoming bad was out of love and out of what he thought was like protection of people. So yeah, I feel like that has been like the most moving. And honestly, even just to talk about episode 6 and why it's still my favorite is because I didn't understand that there was a person under Darth Vader's suit. Like I was like, okay, so he must be he must be a droid, he must be a robot, like
humanoid,
something. Yeah, it's not a real person. And I thought the whole obvious storyline was, he's going to have to kill, Luke is going to have to kill what he thinks is his dad, and that's going to be hard for Luke. But then to learn that there was a person that was like actually him, and feeling and emotion was just like shocking to me. And then for him to at the very last moments of his life choose love, I was like, this is horrific. So I don't know. I feel like in every instance, in every kind of heartbreaking scene, and every uplifting scene, love, and like you said, different types of love is like at the center of that. So
that it's a love story after all. Would you say that that's why Star Wars resonates with new audiences today, or what do you think the main reason is?
Yeah, I think for sure that. I think that, and like I just watched Rogue One, which is I guess the newest of the movies that I've seen, and the like true plot. And I know there's some I don't know, feelings around the Disney production movies, but Rogue One at least was just diving into these characters and like the ability to make me, the first half of the movie, I'm like, who the hell is that? Who is this supposed to be Leia? Like, I don't know where I am. I don't know who these are. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, click. I don't know anybody here. But then at the end of the movie to just be like beside myself bawling over these characters. So the ability to just make you love characters and feel, I think it's, especially in today's day and age, I feel like there's this the rebellion, right, is like inspiring, and the hopefulness of them to just, hey, we can do this together, and we can rise above this evil together. And even if it's a small group of 10 of us, like, it's going to have this ripple effect.
Yeah.
I would think that at least the side of a lot of Star Wars fans that I've been interacting with, I think that resonates at least with me and with some of them.
What you said is so germane, because George Lucas originally in the 70s was like, I want to give the next generation hope.
Yes.
And there it is. You just said after in 2025, being introduced to these films, you're getting to the core of what he was aiming for back in the 70s. I think that's a really impressive of him to drop it, and B, impressive of you to see it 50 years later. Jeez.
Yeah, so clearly too. I mean, almost now to watch it now, I was like, oh, I think that's half of my tears. Is just like, what? How is this? This is today. This is totally a metaphor for everything that's happening. It's horrible. So
I was going to ask what modern parallels or conflicts you were seeing in the story, and we got there without even having to try. And it's because it is germane to now, and I would turn to them when I'm feeling like the news is just so depressing, or like, oh God, is this ever going to end? Or God, could it get any worse? Because I need to see something or someone win.
Exactly. That was again just a huge shock that it was so political. And I think maybe it was in episode 3, maybe in episode 2, where Palpatine, the Emperor, is like throwing the Senate seats and he's fighting with Yoda.
Yep.
That scene was just so like a symbol of just like truly tearing down the democracy and using it as a weapon against good. I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. And it was just such a parallel to how I feel as a woman in America. Sometimes I'm like, these seats are being ripped out of here and thrown at me. And we only got Lil Yoda there to help me. What the heck?
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, exactly. I'd never thought of it that way before. And you're right. It is symbolically perfect.
Yeah.
It's these moments that we take for granted for having grown up with the films or having watched them 1,000 times. Like that this is why I was so excited to talk to you, because I felt like your perspective would be have so much recognition of our times and like how the story kind of is representative of that. And because I've had moments watching your response videos where I'm like, oh my God, she's right. That's exactly what they're doing here, that like I never picked up on.
Yeah, it's interesting because that's all I know of it is literally I've only watched them all one time, 1 through 6. I've watched them once. So it's like I'm excited to go back and see the things that, longtime fans have noticed in other spaces too. But my first digestion of it was all that my video show.
So let's say you're trying to convince someone else who's never seen it to watch Star Wars. How would you do it, and in what order would you suggest that they did it in?
Oh my gosh, what a hot topic. Clearly. I had no idea, even just to cut the record straight of the order that I watched it in. I just turned on the first movie that was made. Like, of course, I didn't know that was, holy moly. So number 1, what I would say, and I'll talk to like the girly girls, the girly pops, what I say, just because that was me, and that was the reason I never watched it. And again, just to like echo what I've been saying, this is not a story about violence and lasers and spaceships and fighting and trying to conquer stuff. This is not like a war film that you are forced to watch with your boyfriend. This is this is a deeply, deeply rooted love story and character development. And like I said, as we've been talking, just political, there is so much deepness to this story. And I think on the flip, and myself included, like I'm a Harry Potter fan. And I think a lot of women are Harry Potter fans. And I'm like, why did we not get the memo here to also watch this? Because it is, in my now opinion, better of flips and storylines and just characters than some of the other series. So I would just say that, just give it a try and at least promise that you'll watch 3 episodes and then you'll be like, okay, I'm absolutely hooked. And I've thought so much about the order of how I would recommend them, because clearly that is a topic of discussion. And I am so thankful that I watched 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that just because I think if I would have watched number 1, I don't think I would have been as hooked and as connected. Although number 1 is like my top 3 movie, surprisingly. I feel like that's a hot take. I loved episode 1.
No, I agree.
But yeah, I feel like if I would have watched number 1 to start, I wouldn't have been as drawn in, especially because number 2 was like really long and kind of drawn out. But I do see the argument of it because I couldn't imagine watching 1, 2, 3 not knowing the word Darth Vader and only knowing Anakin, and what a twist in your body that would have been.
Yeah.
I can see the argument too of watching 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, and then saving 6 for the end. I saw that very heavy referred to me, which again I understand.
It's the machete order.
Yeah, I understand the argument, but I don't know. I think if you are watching it for the first time ever, watch it in release order. But then I'm excited to go back and watch it in episode order.
Yeah.
As my second time around, just to actually see the true plot lines of all of these people.
Sure.
So
if it's any consolation, I think the release order is the way to watch because that's the way it unfolded to everyone. And
yeah,
I do think that Star Wars Episode 4, 5, and 6 do a good job of hooking you in, and then 1, 2, 3 does a really great job of world building from there.
Yeah, and I think 4, 5, 6 are just so fast moving. They're so fast paced and fun, and then clearly 1, 2 are really the like character building behind those people, which was so essential. But I kind of almost liked, and exactly what you just said, David, is like, no, I wanted to watch it how everybody else has seen it.
Yeah.
And now again, I think going back, like I said, I'll watch it in episode order. But no, I couldn't imagine of watching Phantom Menace as the first movie and then me being like, oh my gosh, where's this gonna go? I don't know.
Or reaching episode 3 and wanting to continue. It's such a gut punch at the end.
Yeah, I was not. I mean, even just me watching episode 3. Episode 3 ranks like lowest on my enjoying list just because it was horrible. I was like, why would I ever want to watch this again? It was just full of death. But it was a beautiful, beautiful movie. But
I think there's something too there's an integrity in watching something the way an artist intended it to be consumed. And George wanted it told in that order. And I feel like we should trust that story order.
Absolutely. That is literally why I'm an artist myself. And so that was literally why I watched it in the way that he intended. Because I was like, all right, let me see what he was all about. Because clearly he knew what he was doing. So
yeah. What kind of artist are you? Can we ask?
Yeah. I paint, and right now I do a lot of like sewing. I do a lot of turning things into other things. So I actually have like a vintage Star Wars comforter that I'm going to be turning into a jacket, which I'm super excited about.
That's rad.
Yeah, I'll post a video about it. No worries. But yeah, I do a lot of stuff like that right now, and make like vintage quilts or vintage comforters and fabrics into other things. But
that's awesome.
Painting, drawing, and all that is fun for me as well.
That's really cool. I was going to ask, has Star Wars influenced your creativity at all? And it sounds like yes.
Oh yeah. It's been so much fun. I was like, okay, wait, I need it because now being a new fan, and I had no gear, I had no t-shirts, I had no, I want all the Lego. Oh my gosh, don't get me started on the Legos situations. I've gone to the Lego store. We have like a big Lego store where I'm at. Oh my god. Oh yeah, the R2D2. Yeah.
I just got it for my wedding anniversary. My husband, he couldn't decide between both of them, and he did the right thing and got both.
Nice. Good man. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's definitely, it's been infiltrating just every piece of.
Yeah.
I learned something the other day. They're called, they were like the mini series or something. Hold on. Micro. I don't know. Maybe know this.
Like the micro galaxy.
Oh my gosh.
Toys?
Yes.
Or...
Yes. The micro galaxy squadron.
They come in like cases, right?
Oh my Lord. My life has been flipped upside down learning about this. Yes, they come in like, it's like a 3PO head, and then it opens up and it's like, it was Chewie's head, and it opens up and you're inside of the Ewok village. And I'm like, what?
Endor?
And then they have all these itty bitty little pieces. I love miniature anything. So I was like, I need these. Unfortunately, my Facebook Marketplace suggestions are like only Star Wars right now. And I'm like, okay, wait, I still want other stuff. So chill out. Yeah, my suggestions
That is
are
awesome.
all Star Wars.
Well, I was gonna shift gears a little bit and ask more, like, I thought we'd dive back into kind of your experience with, like, the films in general, and I was wondering, is there any moments that have hit you harder than you expected, like, emotionally or otherwise?
Oof. Yeah, for sure. I would say just number one, like I already dove into, of just Vader choosing goodness over that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know. I feel like just obviously the obvious answer is just Anakin's storyline overall
Yeah.
and who he turns into, and just watching that actually develop, and then watching who he is in episode 3
Yeah.
of just this like total evil person and still trying to fight love. Like, still, he's even in the Vader suit, he's upset that he killed Padme, and learning that. And so I don't know, that hit me hard. Honestly, even just Order 66 made me laugh, that it made me cry so hard, because I was like, wait, I don't know any of these people's names even.
Yeah.
But why am I bawling my eyes out at this girl that I don't know who she is, but I know who she is? Like, it was that
Yeah.
hit me really hard in terms of just sadness. I do have one other answer to that,
Yeah.
which is learning that 3PO, my favorite character, was being made by Anakin, and why he was being made me actually pause the freaking show. I was like, why would they have to add that piece in? Like, that was so sad that he's like making him for my mom. Like,
Yeah.
ugh. And then
That's
just to
such a
know
good
that
call out.
Anakin, and then to know that 3PO has seen all of everything. Same thing with R2, but I was just like, oh my gosh, so sad. So yeah, that hit me hard.
And I feel like I've said this enough already, but I can't say it enough, is that that's part of the joy of watching you watch these.
Yeah.
Is those little moments of like that reaction to C-3PO. Like me as I don't know how old I was when that first one came, 26-year-old, when Phantom Menace came out. Me as a 26-year-old was kind of cynical and a dick and was like, what? Why is Anakin making C-3PO?
Yeah.
And then, but your point of, and this is what I love about this show, is that your point of view on this, like, kind of changed my mind a little bit. Like, oh yeah, that is kind of like sad and sweet. And isn't it like that the guy who becomes a mass murderer Sith Lord wanted to make a robot for his mom?
Yeah, and it even just begins the conversation of how deep his connection with his mother and love with his mother was.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
That he was doing that as they were poor and orphan, and he was still like basically in slavery, all of the things. And he was like, I'm going to try to do this for her.
Oh no, you've definitely like, there's moments and that are so like raw and real that like, I think I kind of mentioned this already, but like, you know, I think we take for granted having, like, I think I was 7 when Phantom Menace came out. So there's some emotional intelligence there that was just not developed, and like you don't necessarily recognize some of those elements of the story for what they are and what they actually mean for the bigger picture until you're older. And sometimes if it's something you've watched over and over again, you're still not necessarily grabbing it in that like kind of full body, I have to pause and process this kind of effect.
Yeah. That was the moment that I literally paused and just cried. He's like, oh my gosh, Anakin is so sweet. I hate it. So I also think I was looking back at just watching the videos, and Luke's kind of twist is really fucking fun. Like, I think that's why episode 5 and 6 rank really high for me, because Luke just like had some swagger to him all of a sudden.
Yes.
I was like, who the
hell? He had big
like,
lightsaber energy.
Yeah, amen. He really like turned it out and was like calling Vader out to his face and stuff. I was like, who the hell is this guy? So I don't know, that storyline and just his like character arc was just really fun, obviously.
Yeah.
You've talked about doing some research on lists, but how are you going to decide what's next? Are you going to go maybe into the movies or some of the shows? You did mention a little bit of Rebels. And then also, how do you decide what am I going to do a reaction video for and what am I just going to enjoy? Yeah.
Absolutely great question. I'm honestly kind of leaving it in the hands of the small online community that I have through like Instagram or TikTok. And I've done some like polls just to ask what should I watch next overbearingly the answer was Clone Wars, the animated series.
Oh, yes.
So, and then even throughout that, I was like, okay, should I watch this list that I found of Essential or should I just watch it all? So honestly, people, and I'm trusting them, especially because these are the people that didn't give me any spoilers or being truly very nice to me and the messages that I do read. So I'm kind of leaning on the expertise suggestion of what is next. And then I think especially when it comes to like, okay, reaction videos, because if I watch all of Clone Wars, I can't record myself for 6 seasons, 20 episodes a season, whatever it is.
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know. I think maybe I'll just do like after season digestion sessions of like what the hell is happening. For the movies, at least, I'm definitely going to be recording myself. I feel like that's an easy one. And clearly, I think people are very interested on my take of 7, 8, 9 right now. So I'll be recording those.
As a fan of yours, yeah.
I'm nervous to say if I'm going to love them or hate them, just because clearly some people are like, do not watch them. Like, I have to watch them. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So,
Dave and I have thoughts on that.
I would say that don't listen to the hate.
Yeah.
Like, just I can already tell that you're, I don't know how to phrase it. It's like solid, emotionally stable. But that you have your own opinions and you don't let other opinions kind of like darken that.
Yeah.
Because I do think your kind of point of view is very bright and optimistic and fun. And that's a great place to be. So I think like watch what you want, react how you do. And that is your fandom. And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we love to see. And I personally don't understand the hate the sequel trilogies sequel trilogy, not trilogies, get. I understand where some folks come in terms of like plot, lore, like, you know, kind of more like larger canon story if you are, you know, reading all the books and the comics and kind of really engrossed in the Star Wars world. But as just films, I mean, Last Jedi is one of my top 3 in the whole franchise.
Nice. Good for you. See, I'm not going to let it I'm not going to let it cloud me because I'm excited. I have no idea. Same thing with all the other ones. I have no idea where it's going. No idea who the hell any of these people are on the covers of the movie shows. So I'm like, all right, we'll watch it. I'm most excited to watch. I am going to watch some of the, like, Andor was very highly suggested to me. And I think, Elora, you were just saying, like, the Obi-Wan show. I am going to watch those just because I'm truly enjoying this. So I want to know. I want to soak it all up.
Well, and Andor season 2 is coming.
It's like, okay, I guess I'm just in time. So
you are. You're perfect. You got perfect timing.
And I loved them.
It's really cool to hear about, like, the community you have around you on your social media. Like, do you feel part of the Star Wars community now? Like, have you felt...
I do. I
initiated.
I do. I think that truly, for whatever reason, everybody has been really, really kind. I've, of course, gotten some comments of like, stop talking during the fucking movie. And I'm like, no, then don't watch the movie with me. So,
that is so toxic.
Luckily, I don't care even an ounce about any type of social media hate that I do or maybe ever will receive. I don't give a crap. I'm having fun and I'm not making this with the intent to be an influencer or have a platform. I'm just having fun watching some movies and clearly it's fun to watch. So, yeah.
Well, it's fun to watch you watch the movies. And I think it's really funny that people would be like, stop talking while you're watching the movie. It's like, that's the point of this. Like,
that's the point of the reaction.
Anyways,
I would love it if, like, for I don't know what the Force Awakens, the episode 7, episode 7.
Okay.
And it's just a picture of your face watching the movie, and maybe you like cry, maybe you're like, you know, laugh,
just
but
silence,
no talking. People would be like, what's going on? It's like, can't you see my eyes? I took the note.
Hello. But I haven't listened to any, and I haven't received too much of that at all.
Good.
Honestly. So I do feel included in the family when like it was a shock to me when these like Star Wars account itself reached out to me and I was like, hey, we saw your videos. I like double checked. I'm like, wait, what? Who is running this? So
wow.
That alone was that was really, really wild and super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. I know it's kind of like when you have a favorite movie or a TV show or something, and you're like introducing it to somebody, and you're like and you're kind of like on the couch next to them,
right?
Like,
yeah.
Oh,
that's how my friends like felt. They're like, now I can talk to you about this twist, or now I can. Oh, finally, I can talk to you about Rogue One. It's my favorite. So yeah, that's the vibe for sure.
You haven't seen 7, 8, 9 yet.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the story is?
Ooh.
Okay. Can I have is it a spoiler if I ask where am I? Am I going further back in time, or am I going is it in between something?
I don't think
that's
not a spoiler.
If we go directly by the idea of how it was marketed originally, you're going forward in time.
Okay. Ooh. I don't know. I don't know a lot of people that are still alive besides of Luke is alive, Leia's alive, Han is alive, Lando's alive, and
Chewie's alive.
Chewie's alive. The Ewoks are alive. They could come back. Clearly, just to follow in Star Wars fashion, somebody that I already know, I feel like is going to become bad. So maybe I'll guess, just in total like shot in the dark. Maybe I don't think Luke would follow in his father's footsteps because that just completely wrecked him. Maybe Leia and Han are going to try to create more power, or they're going to get jealous of Luke being like the number one Jedi, and she's not really a Jedi, I don't think. So maybe they'll become bad. I don't know. Clearly something is going to happen where there's going to be a new enemy. And we're going to be figuring out there's going to be another plot twist. Hell, Chewie probably has a kid that we don't know about. There's just crazy shit going on. But I don't know. If I had to give it a true shot in the dark, I'll just vote that Leia and Han are going to get married, and they're going to get on this huge ego world of wanting to be bad, and they'll be the bad guys.
Okay. I'm keeping a poker face as best I can.
Yeah.
I love that you said they got jealous of the number one Jedi. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Number one Jedi is a funny term to me.
It's an easy place to be when you're the only surviving Jedi.
I was going to say, I think he's the only Jedi, correct? There is no other Jedis. Yeah. I don't know. Because I feel like that's the only consistent characters. Or maybe we pick up and none of them are here, and we have to like piece together who is a part of whose world and life.
Yeah.
Because I feel like now thinking like I don't feel like I've seen a lot of Harrison Ford on like the covers of anything. So maybe my Han days are gone. I don't know. The only thing I do know is that the actor that plays 3PO is like the only person in all of the movies ever. And I'm like, that is hilarious. So it's good for him. 3PO will not turn bad. I know that, but
maybe red-armed C-3PO is like evil C-3PO.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm looking at him so different now. I could see maybe R2 switches up, because I feel like R2 does not have like alliance. He's just there to like bebop and like do a job. Like I feel like give him an order. He's like, all right, see ya. Boop, 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 boop.
He's low-key sociopath.
Yeah, he's just like on his own. He's like, you want me to fix this fucking plane? Okay, did it. He's just listening to the commands. So, yeah.
He's like, I gotta keep all these humans alive.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, I'm so excited for you to reference this after your watch.
Okay. I like to watch back my own videos and read comments of things that people have said, because I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. Okay, I see what was funny about me saying that. So.
No, I think it's great. And like in the most wholesome, like fun way. Like I'm excited for that. Yeah.
I have not a clue in the world.
I think most of your comments are kind of dead on. Like they're not extraneous, or you're right. C-3PO
clearly
is a little
there
bit
has
gay.
to be amen. Hallelujah. Clearly there has to be another enemy that enters our sphere. So do I know him? Maybe. Do I not? Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Now, when we were talking about how this all started, and you were talking about saying to your friends that, it's like what laser beams and spaceships and taking over planets and power planets. And the way you phrased that was really interesting to me, because those are three elements that you thought Star Wars was. And one of the questions we ask all our guests is, what are the top three elements that make Star Wars Star Wars to you? And now that you see that it's beyond laser beams and spaceships and planet power.
Yeah.
In the past 3 weeks, having gone through all 6 movies, building this community.
Yeah.
What are the top 3 elements that make Star Wars to you?
Hope, number 1. Watching the end of Rogue One, I was like, yep, hope.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. Hope and...
Okay. There's no wrong answers.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think of truly like every movie, what's kept me coming back.
Yep.
Honestly, one thing that's kept me coming back too is just like humor. I have been I'm a fan of Jar Jar Binks. I'm a fan of them just because of the humor of who they are and the silliness within the stories. And then I think obviously just love. It's all about loving somebody enough to sacrifice something or yourself or what you thought you knew and put it all on the line because of love.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful.
Yeah.
I think what you said about Jar Jar Binks and your reaction to the Ewoks, a lot of times fans are negative on these things. But I think your situation where you're 30, you are just introducing yourself to all of these at once. Like, Elora and I have a thing where in our introduction, I say I'm an original trilogy kid because that's what I grew up on. And she says she was a prequel trilogy kid because that's 30. What she grew up on. And I think it must be really interesting to watch all these movies in quick succession without any kind of preconceived expectations of what they should be or waiting on the prequel trilogy for 15 years before revealing. Yeah. So I really think that's a wonderful perspective to have. So I'm going to ask you 2 questions here. If you were to say, and again, this is another one, if you're like pass or I'm not going to say either one. If you were to say you're a prequel trilogy kid or a original trilogy kid, which one would you say?
My gosh. Fun. Okay. Only because episode 3 is just like something I never want to watch ever again. There's no good parts. It's so horrible.
It is a very dark movie.
It's so dark. Oh, everybody's dead. That was it. That was the storyline there. I want to say I'm probably an original trilogy. Just like I said, it felt like good was conquering bad throughout every single movie. Although episode 1 is literally my top 2 movie. And I understand the hate of like, we waited 15 years for that. Episode 1 was so good to me. It was so playful. It was me falling in love with Anakin. So there was obvious pieces of the prequels, but 4, 5, 6, I'm sticking with maybe.
I love that.
If you want to be technical, those are the first 3 you watched. So
exactly. Yes. Yeah, I was my first. Yeah, I was born
self-professed original trilogy kid. I love it.
Yeah, and to people that I feel like are first watching it, like episode 4. This was, and I only say this because this is my sister. When she was like, I tried to watch it years ago. Episode 4 being made in 1977. Obviously, one of the first things I did after I watched it was watch some behind-the-scenes documentaries of just how it was made, because obviously the CGI, quote unquote, the effects and all of it is so dated into 1977. But with what they were working with, they did a phenomenal job.
Oh, yes.
And I almost wish they made all of them like that because it was so creative. These little miniature this and a huge this. And like, I'm like looking at a robot and I'm like, that's like clearly like a hairdryer attached to his arm. Like, it's just so fun. Yes. So you have to see the art in that in itself, because that was so ahead of its time in 1977. So,
oh God, the whole behind the scenes is so cool. If you enjoy that, there's a book. It's a huge coffee table book that is all of the Star Wars blueprints. And it's the designs that went into all of the sets and the like props and stuff throughout all the films. It's really cool.
Yeah, applause to that alone. Just the not even acting in movie parts of it. I don't think I've ever been tuned into just like a score as much as I was. Obviously, you watch the Oscars or whatever, and you're like, oh, the best score, and I'm like, who gives a shit about that? No one is ever touching that man. Oh my God, nope. I don't care. Wicked, I love you. Nope. That man.
I love the dance you do for the main theme.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I freaking, it gets you so hyped up. I gotta put my glasses on and get ready to read. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm not reading. I'm just dancing. I love it. I'm so excited. I hope that's on 7, 8, and 9 because it wasn't on Rogue One, but I hope the song and the words are on 7, 8, 9.
They are. I'll give that spoiler alert.
We'll get that away.
Not.
Yeah.
Do I need my glasses or not?
Yeah, exactly. So after this is a tough. I think this may be a tough question because you've been a fan for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But after everything we've discussed in the past hour, from the origins of sitting at a dinner table with your friends and then browbeating you into watching it, and you watching it and posting it, to the surprise that people love seeing you react to Star Wars, which obviously we think is the right way to react to you reacting to Star Wars. So after discussing all this, could you tell us, what does Star Wars mean to you today?
Yeah. Star Wars has, on a personal note, hasn't changed my life. Like, I want to say that in a non, like, oh, I've gotten so many followers and all of that. Like, that in itself has been really shocking and surprising. And, like, I'm afforded some opportunities that I never would have been afforded right now.
Yeah.
So that in itself, in a, like, lame kind of way, but then in a, like, actual deep way, like we've said throughout just talking today, the story of hope and the, like, deep politicalness of this, watching this as a woman who is fearful in our country at this time, it gave me an ounce of hope that, like, okay, yeah, maybe just 10 people can decide this shit isn't what we want, and it can actually mean something. So I feel like that is a thing that I was afforded in itself, is watching it in this day and age and watching it in 2025, having no preconceived notions. It struck me so much deeper for those notes, outside of the love story, outside of the silly Ewok characters.
Yeah.
That overall just feeling of, like, oh wow, he's wanting to just gain power just to gain power, and he's lying to all these people, and he's brainwashing all these people. Like, it was just that note alone.
Yeah.
So for me, Star Wars means hope. It means a new found enjoyment and, like, outlook on even just everyday little life moments. And yeah, I'm excited to keep going. It means, like, I'm excited to see what's next and keep uncovering all of these things, because clearly it gets deeper.
I love that.
Well, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what you watch next.
Yes.
I'm excited to all of it. Even just the side series alone, I'm excited to see, because I love Obi-Wan. So I'm like, what is the Obi-Wan? And I've heard mixed reviews of the Obi-Wan show, but I'm not reading too much into where people rank stuff right now, because I
think that's a great way to approach it.
We should have you back for, like, what we do, a little episode between episodes. We should have you back for, like, a short segment once you watch the sequels, and we can play your predictions.
I'm so down. I'm so down. Like, what were you thinking? Yeah. I'm waiting for, where's the Chewie child? I mean, the Chewie child. So we'll see.
I would be, No, okay, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to, like, confirm or deny. Yeah. Rose, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh,
thank you for talking to us about Star Wars.
It was so great.
Yeah.
It was so fun to talk.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Where can people find you if they want to join your Star Wars journey? Yeah, across all social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and now YouTube for some extended cuts. It's just Roro Muffins, RORO Muffins. That's where I'm using. So thanks for enjoying. Yeah, and those will be in the show notes. Yay, okay. I do have one question, Star Wars related question for you guys to clear one thing up, because I thought you might ask, like, is there anything you want to ask? So I wrote down.
Oh, that's actually an excellent question. We should have asked that. Well, you can put this in there if you're still recording. One question that I have of just like a story, like there's a million questions I have, but one question I have, episode 1, Qui-Gon being in between those little like vortex spaces with Darth Maul, who my hated character, hated him. Mm-hmm. What the fuck was going on when he like bowed to him? Like, was he just getting like mind warped? Like, what was in between those little things that he did? Do you know what I'm talking about? When he like kneeled and meditated while Darth Maul was pacing, and there was like they were force fields, I think, that were separating. Okay, so like, who put up those force fields? Was he meditating like on his own self will, or was
Okay.
I
I didn't
think
know if he was like getting sucked into Darth Maul's powers.
I think what George Lucas was actually showing was the difference between their kind of fighting, and that Qui-Gon took the moment, knowing that there's going to be like a 1 minute delay while this force field cycles through, took the moment to meditate and think about what his next moves were. And then Darth Maul was just vicious, pacing like an angry dog. And it was to kind of show the hate versus the like thoughtful fighting.
Yeah. Thank you for that, because that was one piece that like today I watched back even just my own reactions. And I was like, what's anything that I like feel like I still am confused about? And that was the one thing that I was like, what happened there? I didn't know what was happening. But this is why I need to rewatch all of 1 through 6 again for myself, because those little moments and understanding what's going on and seeing now the like poetry true of like good versus evil and the actions, the smallest actions being made are such an intentional choice, clearly. So yeah.
So we feel like we've watched it for the first time again with you. So thank you so much for that. Rose, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Thank you guys again. It was so fun.